And there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
At Riddle's Jewelry, we know there are moments in life when you realize this is what it's all about. And you wish you could hold on to that feeling forever. This is why we've made jewelry our passion for 65 years. This holiday season, find the perfect gift with savings up to 50%. Riddle's Jewelry, family owned since 1959.
Located in Lincoln at the Gateway Mall.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter? Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. Is it breaking news if it's an hour old?
Not breaking enough. Breaking enough news.
If it's Breaking enough news. If it's past 5 minutes, I have to question if it's breaking. Because 5 minutes go by and the world could look and sound completely different depending on that breaking news. Here is the, what'd you call it? Almost?
Breaking enough news.
Breaking enough. I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that. All right. Breaking enough news. Well, some of this is exciting. Some of it is not. We'll start with the not so exciting. Malcolm Hartzog is going to go to the portal. Good player. We're going to miss him. Who knows? Maybe he comes back. That is an individual that I would welcome back with open arms, kind of like we did Emmett Johnson last year. So we'll see what happens there. Deshaun Singleton was going to go pro last year, decided to come back, probably our best defensive player. So who knows what might happen. Either way, you know what I remember about Malcolm? I remember he didn't see the field at all. Frost gets fired. Okay, Joseph becomes the head coach. He's like starting the next game as a true freshman. It's kind of like Dana with Emmett. The guy couldn't see the field, then he becomes the starter. You don't look back. Malcolm hasn't looked back since. Started a corner, started a safety, started all over the place. He's a good player. Dude, what if he doesn't make that INT and Cincinnati beats us?
Yeah.
Is that the play of the year?
It has to be, I think.
Holy Moses Malone. But he redshirted, right? He makes the play of the year and then redshirts.
Yeah, injury, yeah.
How can you make the play of the year and then it doesn't even count towards your eligibility? College football makes no sense. I don't even argue it anymore. I just smile and laugh because I've accepted it. It is what it is. All right. I say that like I'm happy. I'm not happy he's going to the portal. I hope he comes back. I wish him the best. He's a guy I genuinely root for. Made the play of the year. Still somehow redshirted because college football makes no sense. But that's just an accepted fact of life. All right, here's the really good news if you're a Husker fan. Utah's left tackle, first-round draft pick, possibly a top 10 pick. Is that what we're thinking here? He won the Outland Trophy.
Yeah.
So I'll meet him in January when I go to the Outland Trophy ceremony in Omaha. All right, he's going pro. Wish you the best of luck. Best news, not playing in the bowl game. Their right tackle could be a first-round draft pick, not playing in the bowl game. Also good news for Husker fans? Yes?
Yes,
All
absolutely,
right.
yeah.
And the left tackle, what's the left tackle's name? I just wrote down LT, as you were telling me before we went on air. What's his name?
So Spencer Fano is the one that won the Outland, and then Caleb Lomu is the other tackle.
All right. So Spencer Fano, is that a Star Wars character?
Could be.
Sounds like it. Or Star Trek. I don't know. I never watched Star Trek. Star Wars is better. Message Jake if you're angry. All right. You're on X, right?
Yeah, but I'm a Star Wars guy too, though. So
okay.
I'll go ahead and take those bullets.
Star Wars or Star Trek? I want to know. What do people think? Star Wars or Star Trek? Let us know on the text line. What's the number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
At me for all happy responses. At Jake Bakoven for all angry responses. All right. The left tackle's brother, Spanos. That's got to be like a Star Wars character. It just is, or a pro wrestling name. His brother's a defensive end. Potential top high pick somewhere in there as well. Early rounds. He's going pro as well. Will not be in the bowl game. Do we somehow just become the favorites to win the Las Vegas Bowl? Or just
no?
Okay. Well, come on. Bad news, Bach. Let's go. You got to roll with me here. All right. Today's show was actually prompted by a segment on early break that I saw Thursday morning, Wednesday morning. One of those mornings when I was a zombie because I'm not a morning person. How in the world they do a morning show is beyond me. Although I have done some other morning shows at 8 a.m., not at 6 a.m. because I'm a sane person. It's not that bad. It's kind of like doing an early morning workout. You get jazzed, you get excited, then you're amped up after the show's over, amped up after a workout, and you're ready for the rest of the day. I know a guy. He's unfortunately passed away since, Kevin Polanski. He was my sister's father-in-law, big into swimming. Had over 22 surgeries. I'm like, Kevin, like it's the most non-impact sport in the world. You spent your entire life in a pool or swimming in a lake. How in the world have you had 22 surgeries? He never did give me the answer. Unfortunately, he passed away, but he would get up every morning because he wasn't supposed to swim at this lake. I think it's okay that I share this info now. Lake Loveland, in Loveland, Colorado, at the foot of Estes, 15 minutes from Fort Collins, 45 minutes from Denver, if you ever heard of it. And he would go swim Lake Loveland every morning at 4 a.m. Why? Because you're not supposed to, and everybody knew it. But he would go to bed at like 7 at night so he could get up at 3 and go swim. And this was like not summer months. Like he had the body swimsuits where you look like a freaking seal, all black, for like the winter months. Now, if it was frozen over, I don't know what he did. I never asked him. But like January, February in Colorado, he's in that lake at 4 a.m. This man loved swimming. Again, how do you have 22? He never did, obviously get the chance to tell me. 22 surgeries for the most non-impact sport I've ever heard of. I think golf is harder on the body, with all due respect. You got that violent twisting and turning. I mean, Tiger Woods has had a ton of injuries. Maybe I'm just ignorant. I don't know. That could very well be the answer. But it was prompted. Today's topic was prompted by Jake, Bill, and Sip talking about the lack of an edge the Nebraska players seem to have played with consistently, especially the last 2 games. The last 2 games, I mean, the folks down at the university have called it embarrassing. They've called it a bunch of things we don't need to repeat for the 1 billionth time. And so it kind of prompted me. We got pushed around this year. We were not physical. We lost in the battle of the trenches. They brought up we did not play with an edge. There was an entitlement. There was a lot of things. And in the near future, I'm going to look forward to just the future. Like, I don't see the need to rehash last season over and over and over forever and ever and ever. But we aren't even done with the season yet. We haven't even played our last game. Utah's not over yet. So at some point, I look forward to just focusing on the future, but it's hard to do that when the current season is not technically over yet. So the title, I forget the exact wordage that I texted you. Why has Nebraska not played more physical? Or how do we play more physical? Why have we not been as physical? Something to that effect. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I only sent you the title, so I should know, but whatever. So that's the topic of today's show. Before we dive into the clip that kind of prompted the topic of today's show, and then we're going to give our college football playoff picks. Are you ready? Have you done this yet?
Not yet.
So I'm actually sitting here staring at my notes from a week ago, because remember, I came in last Friday ready to do picks, like ready to go, and then you broke my heart when you said it wasn't for another week the playoffs start.
Right.
I actually have not updated them since last Friday at all. I'm sitting at the same picks with Georgia in the national title game, and I don't know who I have winning Oregon or Texas Tech, and then I don't know who I have winning Indiana or the winner of Oregon, Texas Tech. So I'm going to be filling this out as the show goes along during commercial breaks, or maybe I'll just make the picks as we're going through it live on air, which is, I've done it all year, and it worked out fairly well for me. Why? If it ain't broke, don't break it, right? That's how the saying goes?
I think something like that.
Something like that. Almost breaking news. Is that what you said? Broke enough?
Yeah.
Breaking enough news?
Breaking enough news.
I like that. Dude, that's really good. Breaking enough news. All right, before we play that clip and we dive into the topic, as a former Husker and NFL player, as you fine folks know, I'm a bit of a health nut, hydration recovery. They do start at home. That's why you should team up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers and cleaner dishes. All right, it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage for drinking at a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at your tap. That's what it's like, ladies and gentlemen. It's great taste and is certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, through the end of December only, it's a $500 Dead or Alive promo. If you have a water system and buy a new Culligan system to replace it, you'll get $500 off the new softener. That's all through December 31st. Culligan of Lincoln, what do you love, ladies and gentlemen? Go Big Red. Limited offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply. I try to read that fast because that's what they always do at the end of commercials.
Yeah.
For as fast as I talk, I have a hard time reading that fast. It's amazing. All right. It's a great deal, though. Like $500 off. It's a phenomenal deal. They have a great product. People love it. It's like bottle quality water right at your tap. All right. Play the clip. Let them drop that knowledge, and then we can try to tear it apart. Or just have fun with it, one or the other.
I don't know. I think it's complicated, right?
I think it's hard for Nebraska, partially because that stadium's always sold out. The fans show, there's no apathy here in the program, right?
No apathy.
It's hard to sell underdog.
So what happens to the players? Immediately, they're showered with a lot of praise.
Absolutely.
Immediately. I mean, from the moment they commit, they are hailed.
In recruiting, they're kings. They are kings in recruiting in terms of the Nebraska fan base, how they treat them.
So there's that. Now they're paid handsomely. Most of them. Yeah. Anybody that's playing is making pretty good money now. So no, I don't know what well, I kind of know what the answer is. It's got to come from within. It's got to start up top, but it's easier said than done. It's really easier said than done. They got the most beautiful facilities. They pay the guys handsomely. They're showered with praise. Mm-hmm. They got the logo. The stadium's sold out. It feels like you've made it. From the moment you got here, you feel like this is what it is.
One time, Mike Riley said this: everything is great until the game. Right? He basically said
he said it seriously.
He said it's like everything's great here until we play. Basically, he said everything's awesome with the facilities, with the fan base, with the practices, and then we play the games. Not so great. That's what matters. Everything's great except for the results on the field.
I don't get it. They just don't have the heart. They don't play
do you
with
see
the
that
hard
changing anytime soon? Like, what's going to change that?
One of the hard edges that they have was through
hard edge.
Was through, you say that the brotherhood part And the true brotherhood right now is really 2 schools or 3 schools. I guess it's Air Force, Army, Navy, because they come in as one and they leave as one, and they've been through it all together. They can sit there and look at each other. Remember our freshman year? A lot of times right now, guys aren't sitting around talking. You're not looking at Dane Key. Remember our freshman year here? Oh, that's right. You weren't. Remember you weren't here. Remember that's hard. So when you don't have that, when you don't have that, when you came together of that edge of we've seen
Makes it harder.
If you don't have the edge right now of, okay, we came here as a group and it was rough, and then we created our own edge. Now that edge is leaving, and then a new edge is coming in at different times, and that makes it a little bit harder. But then it comes down to coaching on those things.
All right, Jake, what's your quick reaction to that segment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting and some good points made out there. But again, sometimes you go into that and, maybe you're trying to diagnose this specifically for Nebraska, but, this is kind of the case at many different places. So how are they still finding a way to get it done when Nebraska's not? Maybe it's just to keep that group united. And we'll see kind of what happens again this kind of postseason or transfer portal season, is how much of these guys are going to be the foundation or build toward what's going into next year, or how much are you borrowing that? And to Bill's point there at the end, trying to get that, you have to reset an edge. So I think continuity, as we've been talking about, is something that's been hurting Nebraska's program, but not necessarily up front. I mean, Donovan Raiola been there. So, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, I think there are a lot of things that can play factor in there. But what you're hoping for is what Cheap Wade's kind of bringing in. And, it's one thing to preach, it's another thing to go out there and do it, but to kind of develop that, get that nastiness. I mean, I think that has to go through the coach. I mean, that's going to be your one consistent, right?
It has to start with the coach. It has to start with your approach, how you look at things. It starts with how you phrase things. Like I've mentioned to you before, I learned a long time ago, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I could say, have a great day, Jake. Or I could say, have a great day, Jake. Like, are you really going to buy? I guess same exact words. Oh, man, that was awful. Or, oh, man, that was awful. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And then it's how you back it up. Do your actions match your words? Do you treat people the same? When you say it, do you follow through on it? When you say it and a player does it, are they rewarded? When you expect something, you say something for as far as expectations for players, and they don't do it. Are they held accountable, or are they made excuses for? If somebody points out something publicly that's truthful, do you run to hold their hand, or do you say, gosh dang, that's true, let's get better? If something gets pointed out and somebody gets upset, do you run immediately to their aid, or do you say, hey, let's evaluate the point? Their point sucks. You're right. I got your back. Or their point is correct. So publicly, I'm going to have your back, but privately, you got to get better. How do you react to these things? Want some free marriage advice from a guy who just celebrated 19 years and still doesn't know jack diddly squat about being married?
Sure.
Always, always, always have your spouse's back publicly. I don't care if it's beyond obvious that they're wrong. Privately, there needs to be a little bit more honesty. Like privately and respectfully and lovingly. Like if my wife is like, Adam, like publicly, hey, he's right. And then in private, she's like, you're an idiot. I'd be like, what? Oh, okay, you're probably right. Indulge me, enlighten me. And she's going to be right. The other way around, it's like, I don't care what happens, I'm going to have her back. And I know there's this saying, happy wife, happy life. I would say it's got to be a balanced equation, or the equation tips too far one way or the other. So if she's doing something that, and this does not happen often, to be honest with you, I'm like, I don't know about that. Publicly, no, she's right. Privately, I'll be like, hey, let's have a little chit chat about this. Let's get on the same page at least. You've got to be able to do that in any relationship where you're counting on each other. That goes in a business relationship. Maybe there's no personal tie, but there's a business aspect. You got to be able to do that as player to player. You got to be able to do that as coach to coach. I feel like there were assistant coaches, if you paid attention, that Matt Rule, like after the Minnesota game, it was so telling. They were not ready. I tried to get them ready, and it's like he couldn't get the assistant coaches ready for that Minnesota game. You've got to be able to hold assistant coaches accountable. Assistant coaches got to hold each other accountable. Not in like, oh, I'm going to get your job type way. Like, hey, we got to be better here type way. So it starts from the top down. It starts with It starts with the AD. It starts with the head coach. It goes to the assistant coaches. It feeds down to the leaders of the team, to the veterans on the team, to the guys who are coming in, to the guys who are playing, to the guys who are developing, to the guys who are new and don't know a whole lot because they're brand new to college sports. So for me, it all starts there and stems from there. I'm looking at the talent, like composite rankings of the 12 teams in the playoff. You know that Indiana actually, just pure talent, composite ranking-wise, they're right below Tulane. Did you know that?
Terrell let me know that the other day, yeah.
Like, what? I mean, I knew they weren't up there with Georgia or Alabama. By the way, they'd be a touchdown favorite. I said this yesterday, 7.5-point favorite. So if you took 7 points, you'd still be taking Bama in the points because it's 7.5 if Indiana and Alabama played. The number one talent composite ranking team in the country is still Alabama, not by a wide margin like it once was, even a year ago. I didn't expect Indiana to be on par with Georgia or Bama or Ohio State or Oregon, but they're slightly below Tulane. The bottom 4 teams are Texas Tech, which actually surprised me. I think with Tech, it's their starters where they spend all their money, but if you go beyond them, I don't think they have the depth of some of these other teams, which is the reason they fell. Then Tulane, then Indiana, then James Madison. Now, Georgia's towards the top here, but I pointed out Georgia several times in how they play. And 2 years in a row, they did not get the nice draws when it came to SEC in-conference play. Like, they played a lot of the tough teams from Texas to Bama to all these other schools. Then they played Georgia Tech in the non-con. They didn't play anybody else in the non-con, and they get that extra non-con cupcake bakery game every year, but they're getting rid of that in the SEC, so all due respect there. In fact, they're going to make their teams play 9 conference games plus a Power 4 conference opponent. Ooh, with a Big Ten match it, by the way. Rutgers, Kansas, all those schools getting a lot of calls from SEC schools right now. Come be our Power 4 non-con team. What I'm getting at is it's not just about bringing in the most talented people or the people with the most stars. That absolutely factors in. You look at the teams that during the 14 playoff, almost every year, the 4 teams in the 14 playoff were in the top 5 in talent composite rankings and recruiting rankings. There's a component to that. But you look at how things have morphed over time. You look at Indiana. You look at the way Georgia plays. You look at the way some of these schools develop. It's about not just bringing in the most talented guy and hoping the puzzle in some way, shape, or form at some point might come together. It's about, I know what the puzzle is going to look like. Now I got to go get the appropriate pieces that fit. In other words, you're looking for players and coaches that fit what you want to do. In order to do that, you have to know what you want your program to look like in the end, and then you build towards it. Sometimes I feel like we're building the plane while we're flying it. Like, oh, we're going to recruit in-state players. Now we're not. Now we're going to be a physical team that runs the ball, stops the run, but all of a sudden, 3 years later, we look like an old school Pac-10 team. That instead of trying to out-physical you, we try to out-athlete you with skill guys. And we just hold on for dear life in the trenches this past year. So you've got to have a vision. You've got to be of what you want it to be, what the puzzle's going to look like. Like, I've got the box. I hate puzzles, by the way. My kids know this. If you want to do a puzzle, do not ask me. My grandparents love puzzles. It's apparently not hereditary because I did not get that gene. My grandma and Grandpa Warner, he fought in World War II. He built the log cabin that my mom grew up in and her sister in 1947, and he passed away on Valentine's Day, 2007, in his chair, in his living room, the dream house that he built out of logs. That's the generation that he was, but they had a table in their corner of their house just for puzzles, these gigantic puzzles with 1,000 pieces. It's a good thing they didn't know that I didn't like puzzles, or their punishment to me would have been go put that puzzle together, and I would have hated every second of it. My grandma and grandpa Carriker, they were more Sudoku and crossword people, but they had smaller puzzles that they would do. My point is, on the outside of the box is what the puzzle looks like, what it's going to be in the end. So you know what you're working towards. If you don't know what the puzzle is going to look like in the end, how in the world do you have any idea where the pieces are supposed to go? I think that's part of the way you look at building a football program. I mean, if you got this big, gigantic, beautiful piece, that's awesome. But if it doesn't fit into the puzzle that you're building, all it is a gigantic pain in the butt that's in the way and going to detract from everything else. And then once you know what it's going to look like, it's being very clear in what you want. Not mincing words, not making it confusing, and then holding people accountable along the way. I will say, it's 1,000 times harder to do with the NIL transfer portal, the way people look at things today. I just said college football is insane. It doesn't make sense. So that makes it harder to do as a coach. But don't tell me it's impossible. You look at Indiana, you look at the way Georgia plays, you look at the way look at what Dan Lanning's doing up in Oregon. I always said Oregon was too fast under Chip Kelly and all those guys for years because they were too small. When they were in the old Pac-10, before it went to Pac-12, even Pac-12, and this is, you got to remember, this is when like Harbaugh was at Stanford and Andrew Luck was at Stanford, and they'd bring in like 5 tight ends and 25 offensive linemen and Toby Gerhart, power right, power left. You remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
So Oregon had exponentially more talent, more speed than Stanford, but they were 50-50 on who won, because I always said Oregon was too fast because they were too small. And then they'd go play Ohio State or some really good program in a bowl game that had speed and size, and they'd get pushed around. Dan Lanning's flipped it. They start in the trenches. They start up front. They were a Big Ten looking team when they walked in the door of the Big Ten, which is, by the way, why they won the Big Ten a year ago and only lost 1 game in conference this year. Like Dan Lanning's a young coach, but he knew what he wanted it to be. He knew what it took, and he's been building towards it ever since. Also, I think I mentioned to you, 80% of their starting offensive linemen, so 4 out of 5, I tried to sound really smart and fancy there. 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen, they got through the portal this year, including Isaiah World, who we tried to get here from Nevada. We got 2 more clips. Let's roll everybody's favorite coach in Nebraska. You know why I'm going to play this, despite the fact that everybody might tune out? Because number one, I'm tired of losing to them. And instead of, oh, I can't stand these people, how about we pay attention to what they're doing and learn from it, try to get better? I do that all the time in things. PJ Fleck describes the difference between happiness and joy. And then we'll play a Saban clip and we'll get out of here. I know we're going to be like 5 minutes late, but I won't talk a lot. I know that's rare. You don't believe me, do you?
Not really.
All right, roll Fleck.
On that vision. When you're talking about your vision to players, you got to make sure they don't get discouraged on their day-to-day basis. You got to make sure that they understand happiness versus joy, or they're going to get really confused and get down on themselves. This is not when you and I played. This is now. Very different. Way more sensitive than it's ever been. And way more political than it's ever been. Again, you better be in front of the times. How do you do that? Happiness versus joy. Happiness is allowing the circumstance to dictate your behavior. That's what happiness does. Whatever happens to me, I'm either going to dictate I'm really happy or really sad. Those are the people that go through life like this. They go up and down. And they're inconsistent. He has a good day. You're like, man, this player is really turning the corner. He drops a few balls and he's just walking around like this and he's quit. Failing's growth, failure is quit. 2 different things. And you better be training it in your program right now. Or you're going to have a hard time with players not being able to accept failing. They will be failures because they will quit. Joy is having perspective of whatever happens to you. My culture sits there and says, no matter what happens to you, it will not dictate your behavior because we are going to live a joyful lifestyle. And the hard part about being the standard is you are the standard. My wife Heather tells me all that, usually when I'm screwing up. You know, the hard part about being the standard, PJ, is you are the standard. You are row the boat. Go. I hate when she does that, right? Wait, hold on, I'm the head coach. But you are the standard and you have to be it all the time, not some of the time. If you say your vision is to win a championship, then you better be doing everything in your life to win a championship. Because kids are 10 times more observant now than you were when you played. And they're watching everything you do because all they're seeing on their phone is criticism and doubt. You better be changing that within your walls. The way we practice, I think, is harder than anybody else in the country. But we're not on that field longer than 90 minutes. Excuse me. I want our players loving the way we practice. And that's a way for you to be able to find, how do your players love practicing? Is it hard? Yes. I just said I think it's the hardest in the country. But it is fun somehow, some way. Even the hardest parts are fun. And there's ways to teach in every single moment where we'll stop and come together and be able to make sure they understand exactly what's going on.
I've said for years, whether you like PJ Fleck or not, and this is before we played them this year, I said they beat us way more often than not when they never have more talent than us. I heard that. I didn't even want to watch it. But I was like, you know what? If you want to get better and you want, like, I'm trying to understand how I do my shows better. I'm trying to understand a better approach to doing all sorts of things all the time. You know me. If I'm wrong, somebody can tell me. I don't take it as a opportunity to be offended. I take it as opportunity to learn, grow, and get better. So I was like, fine, I'll watch this stupid clip. That was literally what I said in my mind. Then I watched like, oh, wow, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I don't care if that's Bill Belichick, bad example with North Carolina right now, but Patriots, Bill Belichick, I don't care if it's PJ Fleck, I don't care if it's a youth coach. There was a lot of good stuff in there. You got anything real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the few guys that likes PJ Fleck. So
I forgot about that.
Just listening to that, I mean, what a preacher, what a communicator.
Oh, wow.
All that sort of stuff. But
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I think that, especially with the idea of this being different than you played. And I think a lot of, you want to go back to the day. A lot of people kind of like, going back to the old college football, but it's not there. So you got to adjust to what today's times are. And then I hope every coach, I mean, I would hate any coach that doesn't say, hey, we're going to have the hardest practice out there. Right. I mean, that's got to, if you're not doing that and you're not aiming toward that, then somebody else is, right. And they're getting better.
Dude, he made so many good points. I will tell you this, and I know we got to go to break. We'll save Saban for when we come back, and then we'll get into our college football playoff picks as well, and we'll get to Joel Klatt. He hates March Madness, and all that. We alluded to it yesterday. When he said they only practice for 90 minutes, just so you know, most teams are 2 hours. And I don't want to put this out in the universe because I've never, ever seen this ever before in my life. But there are those coaches who will go for 2.5 and mark 2, and then you as a team captain, you have to sign it because, that would never happen. When he says 90 minutes, it's interesting because sometimes when you cut practice a little bit shorter, not to make it easier, but to make it that much more intense, sometimes you get just a little bit more out of it than if you go longer and it becomes a little bit drudgery and a little bit slower. That stood out to me along with a lot of other things. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain in the letter X.com/AI.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter? Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
At Riddles Jewelry, we know there are moments in life when you realize this is what it's all about. And you wish you could hold on to that feeling forever. This is why we've made jewelry our passion for 65 years. This holiday season, find the perfect gift with savings up to 50%. Riddles Jewelry, family owned since 1959.
Located in Lincoln at the Gateway Mall.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you hadn't heard yet today, TCU quarterback Josh Huber plans to enter the transfer portal. I believe he has a previous relationship with Dana Holgerson, so that could be interesting. What was it, 30 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions. So he tends to take a little bit more risk, but obviously at 3,500 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, I mean, a little bit more reward as well. So we'll see. I had someone tell me, he runs even less than our last quarterback. And I was like, really? Interesting. Give me the passing stats. They better be good. That was my exact reaction, and then that's what they told me. All right, we're going to give away some free stuff. But before we do that, shout out to Mulberry Barbecue. It's the noon hour here on the Adam Carriker Show, and you good folks know what that means. All right, it's time for Mulberry Barbecue. They have two locations at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try the burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more, plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. All right, we do have a clip from the second greatest of all time. Shout out to Tom Osborne. We're going to play a clip from Nick Saban, and Joel Klatt hates March Madness. But go ahead. You're going to be the baby face here and give away some free stuff.
Yeah, so we've got some tickets to go for North Carolina tonight. Nebraska, North Carolina in wrestling. So we're not going to make this too hard. If you can go and are ready, go ahead and get your texting fingers ready. The first person to type in and text in Husker Power to 402-464-5685. We'll have 3 tickets to North Carolina in Nebraska's wrestling duel tonight.
All right. Go ahead and roll that Nick Saban clip. The topic of today, why hasn't Nebraska played tougher? How do they play tougher? Go ahead and roll that clip.
Teams drafting traits as opposed to production.
Oh, pause.
The balance.
So again, focusing on bringing in the right fits, knowing what you want your team to look like. And sometimes you got to call audibles along the way. I feel like we called way too many audibles along the way here. We have to have a better, firm, long-term picture idea of what we want to be. But this is more along the lines of trying to evaluate players correctly that you're bringing in. Go ahead.
Trying to find the balance of that. There's several guys in this draft that measure up that way. How did you evaluate that, looking at traits, a guy who should be able to do some stuff, and maybe the production didn't quite match?
Yeah, well, I was always a production guy because I always felt like a guy's got to have the right psychological disposition, and he can't be an outcome-oriented guy if you're going to be productive, because you're going to focus on what you need to do to get it right. And I think a lot of times when guys have talent, you just assume that they have that, and I don't think that's correct. You know, it's just like everybody's smart that goes to medical school, but everybody doesn't make it through, and some that make it through don't make good doctors. So it's the same kind of thing with athletes. You know, some of them have great talent, but they don't have the right psychological disposition. They don't have the right focus on paying attention to detail. And I think when people are process-oriented and they define, this is what I want, and this is what I need to do it, and then they have the discipline to execute it, that's when you get a talented player who becomes a great player. But there's a point in time, like when I was with Belichick, we always took the size, speed, talent guys later in the draft, thinking if we developed, we hit something big. But we wanted production guys that fit our criteria when we picked them early on.
Interesting. Coach, I wanted to ask.
Jake, did you ever think about going to medical school?
Never was probably too much in the cards for me.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Love so much about that. Process, he said, don't become outcome-oriented. Another way of putting that is becoming a process-oriented person. And PJ Fleck basically said the same thing. He phrased it joy versus happiness. Happiness is, oh, I had a good day, I'm on top of the world. Oh, some things didn't go right, I'm on the bottom of the world. Joy is working long-term towards something and understanding there's a process. Nick Saban just said process-oriented, or he said not outcome-oriented or process-oriented. They're saying the same things, just using different language. The psychological makeup is huge. Toughness is developed in the weight room, bigger, faster, stronger. There are times when the weight room sucks. We used to have the circuit we do. There were garbage cans all at the end of the circuit. You want to know why? Because people were going to throw up. Some people would quit before they'd get there. Not very many guys would go through it, throw up, wait an hour or two, and then they go through it again on their own because there's something wrong with those people. I was one of those people, Jake. My point is, toughness is developed in practice. It's developed in the expectations set by the people in charge. It's developed in the weight room. It's developed in the challenges that are presented to people. It's developed in how your players respond and how you respond to how they respond and what you deem acceptable and what you don't deem acceptable. It also is developed before they ever step foot in the building because you're going after the psychological makeup and process-oriented type people. And when you're looking at the transfer portal, I also, because you can equate this to high school as well, production. There's nothing wrong with taking guys who aren't proven to have a high ceiling, but if you're trying to get a guy who's going to make an impact right away, production is something you can point to and be like, yes, we can expect certain things right here, right now with people that we bring in through the transfer portal. So I talked about this briefly yesterday, not to completely switch topics here, but let's go to the college football playoff. There is college football playoff games happening this weekend, right, Jake? I'm not wrong again?
That's happening this time, yeah.
You have any idea how mad I would be if I had to wait another week? I'd be furious. By the way, I love my family, but for one reason or another, almost every member of my family is going to be out of the house tonight while I'm watching Oklahoma, Alabama. It's going to be so sweet. I love you all. See you later. By the way, did you know that already one game into the college football playoff, the SEC will have already lost a game? Overrated. Oklahoma, Alabama are playing. It's not that hard to figure out where that bad joke came from. But let's go to Joel Klatt. Let's talk about the G5 teams. I will pound this desk for eternity saying I like Cinderella. I know this is not college basketball, but I like one Cinderella in the college football playoff. Now, I have no problem with the top 5 G5 teams playing every year. The top 2 G5 teams playing every year for that one spot. I actually said this last year. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
I like that idea. I'm not a fan of two of them getting in unless they're like both undefeated and they have really good like non-conference wins or something. There was a year where Utah and Alex Smith and Urban Meyer were number 5 in the country. Boise State was number 9 in the country. They were both undefeated. They both had legit resumes. In a 12-team playoff, but again, just have them play each other. Or how about they play the top 2 highest-rated teams, kind of like the NBA does the play-in games? Let's take the 2 lowest-rated teams, on the outside of the playoff. They play the top 2 G5 teams, and that way either both G5 teams get in, one gets in, or they're both out. And then you earn your way in or out on the field. How about that? I don't know. I'm kind of a let's play the games on the field and see what happens guy. Have you noticed that?
So, but just so we're going through this, you would have an additional obstacle for the group of 5 to get to the playoffs.
Oh, wham.
Well, I'm saying it might make some sense. Obviously,
Thank
they play a lesser schedule to get there to begin with.
I thought you were arguing with me. Now I like your statement.
There's some sense. It makes some sense to me.
Okay, let's play Joel Klatt's statement. I did talk about this briefly yesterday, but I do have some additional thoughts and, frankly, some repetitive thoughts. Go ahead and roll it.
Mason in Duluth, Minnesota. Here's where he wanted to go. Joel Klatt called any of your minds. There's still going to be fair amounts of egregiousness in what is said here. But before we break it down, I just wanted to let people know the full context of what was actually said. So this was Next Round Live a couple of days ago. Roll it, Bradley.
The reason the group of 5 is included in this playoff is to avoid antitrust litigation. That's it, guys. Like, we're not looking for a Cinderella. Nobody cares in football about James Madison.
I do.
Or the equivalent of George Mason going. Didn't George Mason go to the Final Four?
Yes, Joel, they did.
Nobody cares in football about that. We don't want Cinderellas. We want the best teams playing each other at the end. In fact, hot take. I mean, like the hottest of all takes that I've ever had in my entire life. The NCAA basketball tournament is a joke. It's the dumbest tournament and the least fair tournament in all of sports. We go and we put teams at odd times on neutral sites in a 1-game affair. Like, that doesn't crown a true champion. We're not doing anything that tells us who's the best team over the course of the entire season. You know, like, if anything, the NCAA basketball tournament should act exactly like the old World Cup, which we should have groups. They should all get guaranteed 3 games, and they should be played at the higher seeds arena so that those seeds are rewarded for a quality game. And that way we don't just get to see, like, Kentucky one and done against George Mason or something like that. Well, that's stupid.
So a couple of things. Number one, I've stated I like Cinderella. I also like teams earning their way in. So give Cinderella a chance to either earn their way in or out, just like a lot of other teams. These play-in games that we've talked about, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, all that in these conferences at the end of the year instead of just your regular conference championship games. I'm a fan of all that. Take it out of the hands of the computer. Everyone all of a sudden loves the BCS now. Were you not around when the BCS was around, or did you just forget? People hated the BCS bullcrap system. Now you want to give it in the hands of 13 people. Here's the unfortunate side effect is those 13 people, they tend to get dissected because they got so much power, but they're getting it wrong a lot of the times too. So that's harsh as well. But it's like, okay, let's take it out of the hands of the computer. Let's take it out of the hands of people. Let's come up with a format where you play yourself in or out at the end of the year. I don't think the NCAA tournament is stupid. I don't think it's dumb. I don't hate the World Cup format that he proposed for the NCAA tournament as far as let's have pods. You get a certain amount of games, and then based on how you do in those games, you either advance or you don't. It's never going to happen because college basketball is about the spectacle of March. That's what it's about. They have the most useless regular season you've ever heard of. They don't care about the regular season. They care about March. It's not about finding the best national champion or a true national champion because, he made a lot of good points. Random teams, random dates, random locations. Like, anybody can beat anybody. Like, they could play a best of 7, and you can beat a team 4 out of 5 times. But if they win that 1 out of 5 times, the one time that you play in the NCAA tournament, they go on and you don't. It's about excitement. It's about upsets. It's all about Cinderellas. I still like Cinderella. Joel's just taking the complete opposite stance, but he doesn't make horrible points. Now, he is right about the G5. The only reason they are included when a lot of people outside of me don't want him in is there'd be lawsuits. And we can debate a whole G5 separate tournament at some point later on in the offseason or as the season goes along or next year rolls around. My point is simply when it comes to NCAA March Madness, it is what it is. You got to accept it for what it is. I don't want college football and the playoff to look like it because I want the regular season to still matter. And that's why that sticks out to me. Other than Cinderella, I don't want anything to look like college basketball's postseason because the regular season, outside of the teams that you follow immediately, like for us, the Huskers, men's and women's Huskers, it's not that important. It's really not. You can be the 8th seed in the ACC and still get in. So that was all I had on that. Should we go to break and then do our college football playoff picks, or do you have a quick thought before we go to break, Jake?
No, we probably get to break.
All right. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, I'll let you all know who's going to win the national championship. And then when I'm wrong, you can @Jake on Twitter. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter? Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies and it will be breezy. It's an afternoon high around 49. Tonight, increasing cloud cover, a continued breeze below around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies and a light breeze. It's an afternoon high near 47. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Shout out to our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's Hamilton, TEL.com. All right, so you and I were chatting. We think there's probably 5 teams with real legit chances. By far, like there's a separation. Best chances to win the national championship. Shockingly, you did not put Tulane and James Madison in there. All right. I did not either. We did say Ole Miss, they only have one loss this year at Georgia by 1 possession. And Georgia won late. They've looked really good. They were more talented a year ago, but they are noticeably better this year. It's just without Lane Kiffin, it's going to be harder. So there would have been 6 in our mind, but now there's 5. So I'll go quickly here in the first round. Oregon, James Madison. I mean, really, the question is, are you taking Oregon or Oregon in the points? That's really the only question, with all due respect to James Madison. Now, James Madison has the number 2 overall defense in the country. Okay? Points per game, they're 10th in the country. Rushing yards per game, they're 5th in the country. Their head coach, now this is where college football gets insane, because both of Oregon's offensive coordinators are going to be head coaches. Offensive and defensive coordinators are going to be head coaches somewhere else while they're trying to win a national title. And James Madison, technically trying to win a national title. Their head coach is going somewhere else as well because, that makes sense. I am going to take Oregon, who, by the way, is number 1 in the country in plays of 20 yards or more. I think they're going to be number 1 in the weekend in plays of 20 yards or more. The only way this goes sideways, Oregon squanders opportunities. Oregon gets a big lead and then takes their foot off the gas, maybe a special teams touchdown, maybe a couple of pick sixes or random stuff for James Madison. I'm taking Oregon, and I'm taking Oregon with the points. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, no need to dive too deep into this. I like Oregon to win this one.
Like I just did? Okay.
Right, yeah.
Alabama, Oklahoma, they just played a couple of weeks ago. Oklahoma beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. One train of thought is that Alabama is going to be furious. They're coming back with a vengeance after the Georgia game. Another train of thought is they've lost 2 of their last 4. Time Simpson hasn't looked the same in all of November. And they had -3 rushing yards versus Georgia. So maybe they're just not that actual good. Also, is Kalen DeBoer going to Michigan? We'll see how that plays out over time. Alabama is actually a favorite. This game's going to be played in Norman, but Alabama's the favorite. They had almost twice as many total yards when they played Oklahoma last time. Almost a 2-to-1 yardage ratio advantage for the Tide. But they had all sorts of turnovers. Oklahoma's defense is amongst the best. Ty Simpson is struggling. This is going to be a game that's like 13-10, 16-13. Either team could win, but give me Oklahoma with the slight edge.
I like the pick there. That's kind of where I was leaning as well. Obviously, it's hard to beat a team twice, but Alabama, I mean, this isn't, the brand's the same. This is not the same in Alabama. I should say the logo's the same. So I think Oklahoma's been really battle-tested this year, so I think that gives them an advantage. Also here in Norman, like you said.
This could be an ugly game, by the way. Like, Alabama can't run the ball. Oklahoma just tries to not give the ball to the other team. Like, this is going to be a low-scoring, potentially ugly slugfest. All right, Ole Miss, Tulane. Ole Miss curb stopped and mollywopped Tulane earlier this year. I do think Tulane will play a lot better. I am going to take Ole Miss with the win, though. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, this is the least interesting one to me, just because this already happened. 45-10. Maybe Ole Miss is overlooking this game as well, and it could get close there for a while, but I'm not betting on it.
All right, Miami A&M, the two most wildly unpredictable teams in this, I almost said tournament, in this playoff. Miami had, they had a 3-game stretch where they had a bye week. They had 2 bye weeks in 3 weeks. And that was kind of where they lost to Louisville and they lost to SMU was during that stretch. This is a team that has the potential to win it all. They could also get blown out in the first round. A&M, wildly unproven, only 1 loss, one of their best seasons in about 10 to 20 years, maybe since 93. And a team that played the bottom half of the SEC, skated by a few times, looked bad versus A&M, but also won on the road at Notre Dame early in the year. I'm going to go with Miami. I think they're going to wake the heck up. That's all I got. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are hoping for Miami to make a run. Like you said, maybe could kind of get that early season magic. I'll tell you what, I think Texas A&M has the magic this year. They've been able to win a lot of close games. And so I'm going to give them the advantage here. Once again, they are the home team.
Are you marking these down, by the way?
I can.
At least this weekend. All right. Round 2 for me would be Miami, Ohio State. I don't even know if, so you're going to hear this a lot. I don't even know if Miami's going to be here, so I'm going to take Ohio State. This would be in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. I would take Ohio State over Miami. Miami has, I'm going to say this out loud, a higher ceiling because they have the highest ceiling of any team in the country. They also have the lowest floor of any team in the playoff. I feel better about Ohio State's floor. So give me Ohio State, and I also don't even know if Miami will be in this game. You look at Oklahoma, Indiana. I don't feel great about Oklahoma beating Alabama, so I'm going to take me Indiana over Oklahoma. Oregon, Texas Tech. This was the hardest game for me to predict of the entire playoff bracket. In fact, I'm going to come back to it. Ole Miss and Georgia. If Ole Miss had Lane Kiffin, I would actually call for the upset here. But I'm going to go with Georgia to beat Ole Miss for a second time. You come back to Oregon, Texas Tech. I spent more time on this game than the rest of the games combined. I landed on Texas Tech because they just dominated Utah, who's a good team. They dominated BYU twice, who's not as good, although they beat Utah. The stats wouldn't say they were better when Utah and BYU played. Just the one game they lost was with their backup quarterback. Again, they don't have a ton of depth, but their starters can match almost anybody in the country. Maybe they can match anybody in the country. I feel not confident at all, but I'm going to take Texas Tech over an Oregon team that's getting healthy. That scares the bejesus out of me. I'm just going to take Tech. Not a lot of confidence. Who you got, Jake?
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's the toughest one to pick as well. I do think Oregon wins that one. Tech really even challenged in the Big 12. Maybe that means they're ready to win the championship, go on this run. But I like Oregon, and a lot of it is for me is just programs who I've seen doing it before, who's been in these positions. Oregon, they're only lost to Indiana, so I like them to move on and get a rematch with Indiana, who I think will beat Oklahoma in the next round as well in the Rose Bowl. The Sugar Bowl I have lined up for Ole Miss and Georgia. To your point earlier, would be wildly interested what my opinion would be with Lane Kiffin in there. Might even make the pick, but I've got to stick with Georgia in this case. And then I have my Ohio State beating Texas A&M.
I will say this about Oklahoma. They played the toughest schedule of any team in the playoff bracket, and maybe that benefits them. Battle tested. All right, Texas Tech, Indiana. Again, I don't even know if Tech's going to be in this game, so give me Indiana. You got Georgia, Ohio State. I'm just going to give it away. I got Georgia winning it all. So I got Georgia over Ohio State. They are talented, and I love the way they play. And so in my national championship is Indiana and Georgia. I think Indiana can match them in every area, except the talent gap is just going to be just a little too much, and they're not going to blow 2 drives inside their opponent's 20-yard line like Ohio State did in the Big Ten championship game. So in national championship, Indiana and Georgia, give me Georgia. All right. My final 4 teams are the 4 teams that all have a first-round bye, and I told Jake that scares the crap out of me. That I think they're the 4 best teams. It scares the crap out of me, that 25-day layoff, and I guarantee one of those 4 teams, if not more, won't be there because that layoff is going to bite them in the butt. But I also think teams are going to be more prepared this year after seeing what happened last year to handle that layoff. What do you got, Jake? And then I know we got to get out of here.
Unfortunately, I would have liked to have something different than you, but I've got the same thing. I like the Barking Bulldogs to make it all the way, beat Indiana as well. I've got Indiana over Oregon, Georgia over Ohio State, and Georgia to beat Indiana.
So we only had 2 different picks. You had Oregon over Tech, and you had A&M over Miami. That was it.
Yeah.
Everything else, you copied me. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
All right, have a glorious weekend. Go Big Red. Enjoy some college football. And always remember to throw the bones.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60%